The WNBA is officially in a total meltdown. For years, the league has tried to play it safe and keep its business behind closed doors, but the game tape doesn't lie and the receipts are finally out. An internal investigation has been blown wide open into what insiders are calling ghost roster violations, and it is about to ruin the reputations of some of the biggest names in the sport. We're talking about allegedly illegal roster spots that were used to hide talent while teams were busy voiding contracts and pocketing missing rookie bonuses. This is not just a rumor or a small leak from a disgruntled trainer. The league has officially opened a compliance audit that is digging into the dark corners of how teams report their players versus who is actually getting paid under the table. The locker room has officially turned, and players are starting to realize they were just pawns in a high-stakes game of paper trail manipulation. If you thought the league was growing because of the talent, you are only seeing half the story. The other half involves front offices acting like they are above the law, and it is all coming crashing down right now. The investigation is focused on a scheme that sounds like something out of a crime movie. Teams have been accused of keeping players in the city and giving them housing and perks without actually putting them on the official 12-player roster. They call them ghost players because on paper they do not exist. But on the practice court, they are there every single day, taking reps and helping the stars get better. This is a massive violation of the hard salary cap, and it is the exact reason why the league is dropping the hammer. Agents are coming forward with proof that their clients were promised roster spots, only to be told at the last minute that their contracts were being voided. But instead of being sent home, these players were told to stay nearby. They were given secret stipends and promised that they would be the first ones called up if an injury happened. This kept the talent away from other teams and essentially created a farm system that the league never authorized. The contract receipts are out, and they show a pattern of teams erasing players before their money ever became fully guaranteed. This is a direct hit to the integrity of the game, and it shows that the win-at-all-costs mentality has gone way too far. The first half of this scandal is all about the money and the specific teams that thought they could outsmart the auditors. Look at the Las Vegas Aces, who have already been under the microscope for their $100,000 sponsorship deals from the city. The league already took away their draft picks before, but it looks like they didn't learn their lesson. The new investigation is looking at how teams like the Aces and the Sky have handled their roster cuts over the last 2 seasons. In 2025, we saw some of the most talented rookies in the world get waived before the season even started. Fans were confused why top-tier talent was being sent to the street while mediocre veterans kept their spots. Now we know the truth. The game tape shows that these rookies were still in the building, they were still using the team facilities, and they were still being treated like members of the squad. This is a total ghost roster operation. The front offices were using these players as a safety net without having to pay the league taxes or fit them into the salary cap. It is a toxic way to run a business, and it is a slap in the face to every player who actually fought for a real spot. The league is calling this a compliance check, but everyone else knows it is a hunt for the truth. The bombshells are dropping left and right. Leaked audio from a front office meeting in the Western Conference allegedly shows a general manager telling a group of agents that the cap numbers on the website were just for show. They were allegedly moving money through marketing deals and third-party sponsorships that never touched the official books. This allowed teams to keep a roster that should have cost $3 million while only reporting $2 million to the league office. It is a blatant attempt to cheat the system, and it has left the rookies in a terrible spot. Imagine being a third-round pick who thinks they made the big leagues, only to find out you are a ghost. You have no union protection and no health insurance because you technically do not exist on the roster. You are just a shadow in the practice gym. The fallout from this is going to be massive because it voids the very foundation of the collective bargaining agreement. While the villains in the front office were busy cooking the books, the heroes of this story are the players who refuse to stay quiet. We are seeing a wave of whistleblowers coming forward to save the reputation of the league. These are the hard workers who were treated like disposable parts. The professional rookies who did everything right but were victims of team politics are finally getting their day in court. They are providing the witness statements and the text messages that prove they were being manipulated. The league was about to drop the hammer on expansion, but now they have to fix the house they already built. With teams like the Toronto Tempo and the Portland Fire coming into the league in 2026, the stakes have never been higher. If the WNBA doesn't clean this up now, the entire expansion era will be seen as a fraud. The fans want to see the best players on the court, not a group of ghost players hidden in the shadows of a practice facility. The investigation has also turned its attention to brand deal fallout. Major sponsors like Nike and Adidas are reportedly looking at their contracts with some of these teams. If a team is found to be using ghost rosters, it could trigger a morals clause that allows sponsors to walk away. This would be a billion-dollar disaster for the WNBA. The league is already fighting with the players' union over the new CBA, and this investigation is the last thing they needed. The union is demanding a full audit of every single team, and they want the missing rookie bonuses paid out with interest. They are pointing to the play-by-play breakdowns of on-court incidents where players who were technically waived were seen celebrating on the bench in team gear. The game tape doesn't lie. If you are on the bench and you are in the huddle, you are on the team. You cannot claim a player is cut and then have them standing behind the coach during a timeout. The league has seen the footage and they are not happy. The villain in this story is the manipulative veteran front office that thought they were too big to fail. They saw the growth of the game and the massive TV deals, and they thought they could get away with anything. They treated the salary cap like a suggestion rather than a rule. They created a locker room environment that was toxic because the official players knew what was happening. They saw their friends being treated like ghosts, and it created a rift that ruined team chemistry. The locker room has officially turned because the players know that if the front office will lie to the league, they will lie to them too. The corrupt front offices are now the architects of their own career downfall. They tried to build a dynasty on a foundation of lies, and now the whole thing is sinking. The receipts are out, and there is no way to spin this as just a simple mistake. This was a calculated attempt to bypass the rules and keep the talent pool locked down. The broader league drama is just beginning. As the investigation goes deeper, we are seeing how the reputation of certain teams is completely unraveling. Using real stats, we can see that the teams accused of ghost rosters had a much higher practice intensity and better scouting reports than the teams playing by the rules. This gave them an unfair advantage on the court and in the standings. It's a form of cheating that is just as bad as performance-enhancing drugs. You are using extra resources and extra bodies to gain an edge that the rules do not allow. The league is looking at potential lifetime bans for general managers who orchestrated these deals. They want to make an example out of anyone who tried to turn the WNBA into a playground for corrupt business practices. The hammer is about to drop, and it is going to be heavy. The tragedy here is for the players who just wanted to play basketball. They were told they were part of a family, but they were really just part of a scheme. The missing rookie bonuses are a huge deal because most of these players aren't making millions of dollars. A $10,000 bonus could be the difference between staying in the league or having to go overseas to a dangerous situation. By withholding this money, teams were essentially holding these players hostage. They knew the players were desperate for a chance, and they used that desperation to their advantage. It's a predatory way to manage a team, and it shows the dark side of the sports business. But the facts are finally being brought to light, and the hero rookies are being vindicated. Their stories are being told, and the league is being forced to listen. But what the cameras missed in the locker room was even worse than the missing money. There was a sense of fear among the players that if they spoke up, they would be blackballed from the entire league. The manipulative front offices used their power to keep everyone in line. They told the players that the league wouldn't believe them and that their careers would be over before they started. This is the definition of a toxic teammate environment at the executive level. They weren't just cheating the cap, they were bullying the workforce. But the paper trail was too long and too messy to hide forever. Eventually, someone was going to look at the housing records and the travel logs and realize that the math didn't add up. You cannot have 15 people flying on a private jet when you only have 12 people on your roster. The receipts for the flights were one of the biggest bombshells in the entire audit. The league is now at a crossroads. They can either sweep this under the rug or they can tear it all down and start over. The fans are watching, and they are not stupid. They see the technical fouls on the court and they see the drama off the court. They know when something doesn't feel right. The investigation into ghost rosters is a chance for the WNBA to prove that it is a professional league that deserves the respect it is getting. If they let these teams off with a small fine, it will be a signal that cheating is okay as long as you don't get caught. But if they take away titles and hand out lifetime bans, they will show that the integrity of the game matters more than the bottom line. The game tape is clear and the evidence is mounting. There is no more room for excuses or spin. The investigation has also uncovered witness statements from former teammates who were forced to watch their friends get pushed out of the league. These players saw the ghost roster spots being filled by players who were favorites of the coaching staff rather than the most talented athletes. This created a culture of favoritism that poisoned the locker room. The players who were actually on the roster felt like they were constantly looking over their shoulders because a ghost could take their spot at any moment. It was a psychological war that the front office was winning until the audit started. Now the tables have turned, and the people in power are the ones who are scared. They are the ones who have to answer for the voided contracts and the missing money. The cost of this toxic behavior is going to be felt for years. The 2025 season will always have an asterisk next to it because of these allegations. The teams that won games might have done so with the help of illegal players and illegal funding. This ruins the legacy of the stars who worked hard to win the right way. They are now being dragged into a scandal that they had nothing to do with because their front offices decided to cut corners. The reputation of the WNBA is on the line and the clock is ticking. The league needs to finish this investigation and reveal the full truth before the next season tips off. Anything less will be seen as a cover-up, and the fans will never forgive them. In the end, the game of basketball is supposed to be played on a level playing field. That is the whole point of having a salary cap and a set number of roster spots. When you break those rules, you aren't just trying to win, you are trying to cheat everyone else who is playing the right way. The ghost roster scandal is a wake-up call for the entire sports world. It shows that even in a growing league like the WNBA, the old ways of doing business can still find a way to creep in. But the light is finally being shown on the shadows, and the ghosts are coming out. The villains who thought they were smarter than the game are about to find out that the game always wins in the end. The contract receipts are out, and the league has officially turned the page on this era of corruption. The final buzzer is about to sound on the careers of several high-ranking officials. They thought they could manipulate the system and get away with it because they were winning. But winning doesn't matter if you have to lie to get there. The cost of their toxic behavior is a lifetime ban and a permanent stain on their legacy. They are the architects of their own downfall, and they have no one to blame but themselves. The WNBA is moving forward with a new sense of transparency, and the ghost rosters are being erased for good. The players who were victims of this scheme are finally getting the justice they deserve, and the league is finally growing the right way. The game tape doesn't lie, and the truth has officially been told. The cost of cheating has never been higher, and the league is finally making sure that everyone pays their fair share.